want to share something with you that I think is pretty important. In spite of the day and the time that we're living in, I think that you can still do this even right now today, because I believe that God is involved with it. He's wrapped up in this. And I think it's important for us, for you, to continue to do it. Hello and welcome to Mornings with Pleas, the podcast. This is Pleas Anderson, your host. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to this channel, this is a podcast, and we like to discuss conversations and topics about things of unique perspectives. We have people who will come on with us. They're coming. I promise you they will. They're coming, and they're going to have a unique perspective on certain topics, and I believe that it will help you to become the best representation of yourself. So let's get right to it. Here we go. So if you have ever had a dream, have you ever had a dream about something? A closer walk with God? Maybe one day standing before thousands of people, public speaking. Maybe you want to start an organization to help people. Maybe become a singer. Maybe you want to own your own bookstore of sorts. Sounds like fun. Sounds like something to be nice. Maybe you want to be a hair salon owner, a beautician, or a barber. A clothing store. Selling your original designs. Maybe you want to own your own clothing store to do something like that. Maybe you want to move to another city. Maybe you want to start over, start something new. Maybe you want to invest in cars. Maybe you want to rebuild cars. Maybe you want to be a real estate investor or owning an over-the-road trucking company. I don't know, just threw that in there. Or maybe it's just being debt-free or being able to retire early from work. This is just to name a few things. But those are some great ideas. And those are considered dreams. If you haven't accomplished that, or if you're not there yet, then that is a dream. That is something that is on your mind. So a dream is just a dream, though, unless you have a vision. You have to have vision that comes with a dream. So, of course, we're not just talking about a dream that you can go to bed at night and then you dream dreams, which is fine in and of itself. But the particular conversation that I want to have with you about dreams is that if you have something that's on your mind, something that's in your heart, something that is driving you, and it is constantly there. God drops something in your mind, you sleep on it, you wake up, and there it is, and you're daydreaming about it. I believe that a dream is a nugget or something that God drops in us that is connected to passion. That passion, I believe, is directly connected to purpose. And I think that that purpose is directly connected to our predestined goal, in which what God has put in us to do and fulfill. And I gotta say, it's according to his purpose. It's according to his will. It's according to what he wants us to do, whether you believe him or not. So we can't get away from that. So that's what I believe a dream is. It's something that God drops in us that we become passionate about. We talk about it to people who probably don't know anything of what you're talking about. But it's just something that We do. Give me a minute. But dreams. In order for a dream to come true, you need passion. Not only passion, but you need vision. In order for a dream to come true, you need to have vision. Proverbs 29:18, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. But where there is no vision, the people will perish. You have to have vision to know where you're going to go. I guess that's an oxymoron, and vision and actually having direction where you can see where you're going. Sometimes you may not see. That'll lead me to another discussion. We can talk about that later, and that's faith, because sometimes you don't see where you're going, but you have faith that your direction, that you're going in the right direction. That's faith. Scripture says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith in God that he'll direct you in the right path, going the right way. You don't see it, but you trust that the path is laid out for you. So again, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law of God, happy is he. Vision, by definition, is the act or power of imagination. Vision. So when you have a dream, and it's something that you see afar off, and you might say, man, I would love to be fill in the blank. Or I would love to do this. I can see myself doing that. You dream about it. However, vision by definition means the act or power of imagination. Another one is the mode of seeing or conceiving. That's a good one. You know, someone preached a message before, you have to see it before you see it. That means that it may not be tangibly there where you can actually touch it and you can see yourself and you can functionally be performing whatever it is that your dream was to do. But vision is the thing that actually gets you there. It's the mode of seeing or conceiving. Conceiving is like, let's use this analogy. When a woman gives birth, she conceives that child. The conception of the child. Maybe her husband and wife, they decided, I want to have a child, and everything natural comes in play, and a child is born, and then the woman conceives. It's the mode of seeing or of conception. Discernment or foresight. I believe that God gives us a gift of discernment where you can see it before it's actually there. It's the vision of the thing, but not tangibly there, but you can see it in the future. You can see it happening, or having the foresight to put a plan and write it out, but then in action, it comes to play. And then we have the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. The ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. I believe it's important to make sure that in everything that we do, that we make sure God is first, or God is first in that thing, so that whatever plans that we write out that we think we want to do, that we believe that God put in our heart, put on our lap to do, and gave us the job that this is what I want you to do. I want you to go talk to this person. I want you to go encourage this person. I want you to go start a business. I want you to go lead this. On and on. A lot of things that are unseen, you gotta trust, and you just gotta have faith that they're going to work out. So once again, the last one on vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and or wisdom. So dream by definition is a succession of images, thoughts, or emotions passing through the mind during deep sleep. So in deep sleep, or I know that we've daydreamed before, and we're at work or maybe sitting at home and someone's talking to you, and then they're calling your name a couple of times, and then you say, oh, what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And you're just sitting there, you just could be daydreaming. You could be in deep thought about something, and sometimes a dream can take you there because you are envisioning yourself or you're envisioning something happening. Now, keep in mind, the discussion that we're talking about right now is you having a dream about something positive in your life that you want to do and that it is placed on your heart. Maybe you want to be that person to be able to feed the hungry, or to have some kind of community center for young kids, or maybe you want to have an organization for women and their children to come out of abusive relationships. They have many of those organizations out there to do things like that, but maybe they don't have that type of organization to do like God has put in you to do. Maybe it's just a little twist. Maybe it's something that's different that may be effective, and that you can capture those missing people, those, as you would, if you will, crumbs that have just slipped through the cracks. Some of those people are so hopeless, and maybe they don't feel like they can get help from anywhere, but maybe you might be that one. You might be that person that if you just have the courage, if you have that just get up and go, and that push, and don't worry about the voices that you might hear in the back of your mind, or even someone might even tangibly tell you, no, that ain't going to work. No, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because you don't have the ability, or you don't have the skill, or you don't have the know-how. I've seen how you work in the past, and you've always started something, but you never finished it. But this might be that time where you're finally on the right track. You're finally on the place where you're supposed to be. That dream that has always been there in the back of your mind, but you put it on the shelf because you didn't think that you would be the one to do it. Well, let's not listen to those voices. Put those voices to the side, put them in the back, throw them away, and listen to God's voice. If he's telling you by way of a dream, I want you to do this. But the thing about a dream, like we just discussed already, is that dreams are good. But dreams, if they are to come true, you need to have vision. Vision, or in another way, is strategy. Got to have strategy to make that dream come true. A very, very simple quote that people have said before: you got to plan your work and work your plan. That's simple, but it's profound. Got to put it out, plan it, strategize it, and then work the plan step by step. You can't do it all at once, and you can't rush the process. So dream your dream, but have vision with the dream. So the other day, I was doing some research on this topic and came across a story about reaching goals and dreams. It's a father and son conversation. One day, a son came to his father for advice. "Dad, I can't do this anymore," he said. "Those lessons only exhaust me, and the result doesn't change. It must be not destined for me to play football, and my dream will never come true." The father looked at his son with loving eyes and said, You know, son, every person in life has a dream, a goal of his life. They are the ones that make us do what we are doing because it's what we should do. We have to fight for what we believe in, what we feel. In other cases, you will simply break once and for all. The easiest way is to quit everything and not go until the end, because the path is difficult and we are not used to inconveniences. We want everything to be easy and at once, but the wishes are fleeting. This is how our dreams die, and the goal becomes unreachable. Gradually, life becomes a routine without depth and meaning. Then one day we try to forget and start everything from the beginning. We wait for a new day to make our life different. But new obstacles come in our way and we stop again. We become full of despair and anger for our own helplessness. But you only need to remember one thing: never give up. Fight this battle. It doesn't matter that you have lost one battle and even dozens of battles. Life goes on. Your biggest enemies are hiding in you: laziness, fear, doubt, indecision. Be a warrior of your dream, a knight of your goal, and a soldier of your wishes. Isn't that an amazing story? So this father is encouraging his son by literally just trying to encourage him in breaking out the facts of what he's dealing with, putting it all out on the table, letting him see that this is a journey, this is a goal, although it's tough, but this is what you got to do. I like the part where he was talking about that life goes on and your biggest enemies are hidden in you. And then he lists them out: laziness, fear, doubt, indecision. Be a warrior of your dream and a knight of your goal and a soldier of your wishes. So that means that all those different characteristics of soldiers, be a warrior, be a knight, be a soldier, you have to literally fight for your dream to come true sometimes. And sometimes the fight is tough, but you can still win. You can never win a fight if you give up. Even if your opponent is large and huge and it looks like you can never conquer this enemy. But a lot of the doubt and a lot of the insufficiencies and a lot of things that we got to get over are within us. Many times we are our biggest enemy. Yeah, we are our biggest enemy. And sometimes we are the ones that hang up our dreams. Isn't that something though? We are the ones that hang up our dreams, and we are the only ones that can pick up our dreams. So then you would have to make this decision even today. If you have a dream, I don't believe that it's too late. If I did, I really wouldn't be talking about this. I really wouldn't be on camera. I wouldn't have put this video out and talked about this in my podcast. I believe that a dream is, like I said before, it is a part of passion. A dream is something that God has dropped in on you, and it's connected to passion. And I believe that passion is connected to purpose. And I believe that purpose is connected to predestined destiny by way of what God has done and will do in us. Because I believe that we all have a purpose in this life, according to his will, not just anything. I don't think that we're just here randomly, but I believe that we have a purpose that is destined by God. 2 Timothy 1:6 says, "Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee, by putting on of my hands." And so they anointed Timothy to encourage him to stir up the gift. And the whole point of that scripture is that there are abilities, there are skills, there are talents that is within all of us. We have to stir them up. And I believe that this is important. We can't look at someone else and then gauge our own life and our destiny based on what somebody else is doing. That is one of the biggest things of defeat that you will have in your life. That if you gauge your life based on what someone else is doing, first of all, you don't know how they got there. Secondly, their path is their path, and your path is yours. Thirdly, they may be 500 steps ahead and have picked up several things along the way. And then you may just only be 100 feet out of the gate. So you can't measure your distance by way of their distance, because they may have started sooner. They may have gone a little bit faster. They may have got a ride down the road. You don't know. But I believe that it's important not to gauge or measure yourself based on what someone else is doing, because your path is your path. My path is mine. And that's how we would gauge what we're doing. You gauge your life based on the principles of God, what God is telling you to do, and you measure what he has built you up to be. Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In all of thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path." I love that scripture, because many times we do exactly what that scripture said not to do. It says, trust in the Lord and lean not to your own understanding. And that's the part that I'm talking about, that we do constantly. We want to figure it out. We want the answer. We want to know. But faith is, the fact is that you don't know, but you trust. Trust in the Lord that with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct that path. So that's what I was saying earlier. Put God first in everything. If you put him first in everything because the word says to do that, then you don't have an argument, because now the pressure is really not on you. You're doing what God said do. Trust in him. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. Do those things first. And then everything else will come next. And God will take care of that too. And by the way, if you're enjoying this podcast or you're enjoying this YouTube video, would you press the like button and even subscribe if you like? That will help this channel, and then that would also help me to determine what will be my next topic, or for people who are actually enjoying this channel. And then it will help me to produce more great content like this. I really appreciate you. So a dream is a God-given projected destiny. In my opinion, a dream is a God-given projected destiny. It takes courage to follow up on a dream and to see it through. Got to put in the work. Remember what we were talking about the last time in the video or in my podcast before this one, talking about consistency. And with that, you have to put in the work. Let me just say this little piece about consistency, and it's going to go along with, if you have a dream and you need to have vision. This is what I'm going to say, that I found out that consistency what holds consistency is strategy. You got to be strategic in being consistent. Yes, you have to be consistent. You have to have a strategy that will help support consistency. And that's the same thing that goes along with a dream. And the vision is basically strategy. And now, hindrances to your dream, the thought of the impossibility. It's too big and it's too far away. You got to do away with those hindrances, because that's what they say, stinking thinking. That's stinking thinking. Have you ever noticed that there's always a negative thought? There's more negative thoughts than there are positive thoughts. Got to put away those negatives. Those are the things that's going to hinder your growth. So the thought of the impossibility is a hindrance to your dream. It's too big, it's too far, and it's not for me. Another hindrance is unbelief. You have to believe in yourself. I've never been a selfish person, per se. We all are selfish, in some ways. But in this particular instance, when it comes to you fulfilling your dream, there's some selfishness that you have to have a little. You have to put yourself first, actually putting God first and then putting yourself first, in order to be able to, let's say, for instance, that someone is in the water, in a pool, in a swimming pool, a little child or person, and they can't swim. You see that they're going down. Well, you have to make sure that you are safe first if you're going to jump in to be able to save them. Otherwise, you're both going down. You might have to have a flotation device. You might have to, say, tie a rope onto yourself, or you might have to get with somebody and say, look, I'm going in. I need you to pull me out. So you have to look at yourself first to make sure that you are secure and prepared. Then you can jump in. Even with your dream, you have to make sure that you are mentally stable, that you are physically good, that your faith is in God first, that you have strategy, vision, and then move forward. That's the selfish part you have to have. Can't just jump in unprepared. Another hindrance to a dream is procrastination. You're putting it off. Don't put it off. If you have time, do something as it relates to your dream. I believe that one way to accomplish a dream is that you chop away at this dream every day. You do something every day as it relates to your dream. If you do something as it relates to your dream every day, then that's one thing less that you have to do. You don't have to accomplish everything all at once. That's how we get exhausted and frustrated, and then we give up because we say it's too much. Well, there's such a thing as running a marathon. You can't get to the finish line with a sprint running a marathon. A marathon takes hours. A sprint takes seconds. So in this, to accomplish a dream, put that vision or strategic plan to it, and do a little bit at a time. You will definitely get there. You'll get there. Another one is inconsistency. We talked about that. We know what that's all about. Inconsistency. I believe, again, the strength to consistency is a strategy. It is putting a plan together and doing it every day. Another hindrance to your dream is giving up. Giving up too soon. Sometimes the end or the crossing the finish line is just right there. And sometimes you give up too much because your body is telling you, or your mind is telling you, can't take any more, can't do any more, can't go any further. Just stop right now. Well, you'll feel so much better if you accomplish your goal. Cross the finish line. You might not be first at the finish line, but at least cross it. Don't give up before the finish line. Cross the finish line. Catch your breath at the finish line once you cross it. You'll feel so much better because you pushed through. Another one is listening to others. There's always going to be naysayers. It's always going to be someone that's going to have an opinion about what your life is supposed to be or what your dream is. Someone is always going to tell you, no, I don't think that's going to work. You can't listen to others sometimes. But I think that the ones you can listen to are the ones who give you sound advice, the ones that you trust, the ones that you know that aren't going to lead you wrong. Listen to the ones that give you sound advice, but get rid of the ones out of your head that's going to give you negative advice. Here's a big one for you. A hindrance to your dream is being afraid to fail. Being afraid to fail. A lot of people don't want to fail. They don't want it to not work out. Now, obviously, if you have a lot of money that's invested in whatever you're doing, of course you don't want to fail. You want to make sure that you preserve your investment and not lose it. But sometimes it'll come to a point that you might have to say, I'm all in. I've done everything I can do. I planned as much as I can plan, and I've got sound advice that I feel comfortable with. And more importantly and most importantly is that I put God first in this. So don't be afraid to fail. Sometimes we interpret failure as it's final, or we interpret failure as it must be me. Don't take the blame for everything. Everything is not your fault. Some things are out of your control. Some things you didn't do. Some things somebody else did, or something just didn't work out. But don't take the blame for everything. I think that we make this mistake by taking the blame for everything that happens in our life. Everything is not your fault, and you're not responsible to take the blame for everything. If there's something that you made a conscious decision to do, and you know you did, well, take the blame for that. But not everything in your life or everything that happens. You are not responsible for everything. And lastly, the lack of vision is a hindrance to a dream. Is the lack of a strategic plan. Sitting down, mapping it out, seeing where you want to go, one step at a time, doing one thing every day to accomplish your goal. Having a strategic plan is vision. You need a dream. They are motivating and gives you drive towards better and destiny, purpose fulfilled. You need a dream. Don't stop dreaming. Save your dream. Keep your dream. You never know what'll happen. I believe that it's not too late, and I believe that your dream is something that God has dropped in you, and it's a part of your passion. If you constantly dream and talk about it, your passion is connected to your purpose. Your purpose is directly correlated with your predestined destiny in which God has for you on your life. So look, don't stop dreaming. Put a plan to it. Get your vision right. See it before you see it. And let's go. Hey, you keep looking up and expect the best out of your life. You have a great one. This is Pleas.